Premier Mark Brantley has refuted statements made by Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris regarding CBI revenue sharing during a cabinet press conference 1st June. According to Dr. Harris, who is also the Federal Minister of Finance, the amounts being allocated to Nevis were amounts requested by the Premier as a fair allocation for Nevis.
When Mark Brantley became the Premier of Nevis, he too wrote requesting what he determined was a fair share for the people of Nevis, a whopping 50% increase he requested. And I sat and I discussed with him, and he said, yes, give me some, next year I have certain things to do, blah, 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 blah. Again, being overly generous, we agreed. $45 million determined by them. It is not I who pull the figures. In every letter that are there, every letter that is there, and the records would reflect these are their requests that determined. They determined, not I, was reasonable. But when it suits them, they want to change the goalposts. So we moved from 30 to 45 within a short window of time, and everything was good and dandy. And then after a budget in which we had inputted the $45 million for 2022, the Premier of Nevis came again and he said, well, could we carry it up to 66? Well, what do you think he was asking? For an unfair portion or a fair and equitable portion of what he deemed was required?
But according to Premier Mark Brantley, what Dr. Harris said at the press conference is misleading and does not reflect the reality of the matter, challenging the Prime Minister to provide proof to support the discussions held between them.
How now you come to try to suggest to sensible people that we over here seeing $600 and $700 million being earned, and we're going to say, okay, just give us 7%. That is fair? I issued a challenge, open challenge this evening, that the former Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris, has any correspondence from me, Mark Brantley, saying that this is considered Nevis's fair share. Let him share it with the public. Let him do so. I am so happy I was trained as a lawyer. And I'm happy I was trained as a lawyer because as a lawyer, I was always taught to document issues. Sometimes I have a conversation with someone. When the conversation is over, I write to them, dear sir, I would like to recap our conversation. You know why? People like to say you no say. Or they like to say you say what you did not say. And I always found it interesting because throughout the time I've known this gentleman, the former Prime Minister, Dr. Harris, he always used to say to me, Mark, what you like to write so? Man, pick up the phone and call me. You always want to write to me. Man, Mark, call me sometime, man. Let me talk on the phone. Little did I know that it's scampishness. Because if I didn't have my letters now, you imagine what he said today? I couldn't rebut. People would be saying, oh, well, me don't know who to believe because he say. The correspondence is there, and it is clear, and I will share it to put the matter beyond doubt.
According to the Premier of Nevis, Dr. Harris, after being a signatory of the Charleston Accord, an agreement which, among other matters, sets out the way in which CBI revenue would be shared between both islands, the Prime Minister has refused to resolve the matter according to the agreement. Brantley maintains that the CBI program is national in scope, involving the St. Kitts and Nevis passport. Therefore, there should be equitable sharing of the proceeds of the national asset. Glenn Barth reporting for SK Newsline.
The vicious trading of barbs and accusations between the leaders of the three political parties that formed the Team Unity Coalition will only get worse, says social commentator Dwyer Astafan in his latest commentary on Freedom 106.5 FM.
Everybody throwing shots at everybody else on the other side, and vice versa. And it will get worse. And as you listen to them, remember the old saying, when Sprat come out of the sea and tell you that shark got sore eye, believe the Sprat. By their vicious attacks on each other and their general behavior, it is clear that something is grievously wrong, and wrong with them, and we cannot expect anything better from them or any combination of them. So we would be unwise. We would not be doing ourselves or our country a favor if we were to return any of them to office, PAM or PLP. We have another old saying which goes like this: only when wind blow you see foul bottom. The melee that is going on among these people has exposed them for who they are and shown us and the whole world who they are.
The coalition government fell apart after leaders of the People's Action Movement and Concerned Citizens Movement accused the Prime Minister and a leader of the People's Labour Party of breaking promises agreed upon by the coalition in the Charlestown Accord. These promises are in relation to fair share of revenues from the Citizenship by Investment programs in Nevis and two-term limits for the Prime Minister. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. When you're looking to sell, buy, rent, or manage a property, your answer has to be Diamond Real Estate and Management St. Kitts, Dreams. They provide oversight of real estate and physical property in St. Kitts and Nevis, perform regular maintenance, utility payments, and safety checks to ensure your property is well kept. Dreams manages and optimizes your rental listing, recruits tenants, and much more. Looking to sell that parcel of land or property, or dreaming of owning your own? Trust Dreams under the leadership and experience of its CEO, Velma Merchant. Many can attest to her professionalism and customer service. Diamond Real Estate Management St. Kitts. Call 663-7326 or visit their office at 15 Shadwell Industrial Estate, making your real estate dreams come true. When visiting St. Martin, you want clean, affordable accommodations. You need Midtown Motel in the heart of Phillipsburg, a place where you can relax, take a stroll on Great Bay Beach, and that provides you easy access to great shopping. Midtown Motel, located on Front Street, Phillipsburg, St. Martin. Call Midtown Motel at 721-542-0614 and book your stay today.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips. Nestled between evergreen mountains and the Caribbean Sea on the island of St. Kitts is the Mill House Guest House and Convention Center. With breathtaking views, a rugged, beautiful shoreline, and immaculate manicured gardens make this the perfect location for your holiday, event, or wedding. With a large convention center, apartments with balconies providing stunning views, and a secluded cottage for larger family groups or honeymooning couples looking for some privacy. We have something for everyone. Book your stay at www.millhouseskn.com or visit our Facebook page, the Mill House Guest House and Convention Center, an oasis of tranquility.
Coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic, there appears to be more interest in entrepreneurship, according to Minister Wendy Phipps, who reported on the approval of concessions for over 40 new business entities. She informed that the businesses had requested fiscal incentives and government had approved all requests as a means of providing support to the entrepreneurial sector.
In January to present, some 44 new business requests have come into the ministry for fiscal incentives, and we have approved every single one of them. And basically, the majority of those, some 27% of those, come from construction services, and the amount that has been foregone by government in terms of duties and taxes for those 44 businesses alone is somewhere in the region of $511,319.93 that the government has done to ensure that we reduce the operational costs of entrepreneurs, especially at this time. And it is something that should be commended because it is telling us that our people, in spite of the traditional mindset and the history that we have come out of, where you expect after school to find a job, at least now the mindset is shifting, where people have been turned on to the idea of becoming their own bosses. The inception of the new Ministry of Entrepreneurship has also helped dramatically in that regard, especially for the creative sectors. So it is something that we would wish to continue so that more of our people begin to create wealth through entrepreneurship, just like we want them to create wealth through education.
Over the past several years, various programs have been geared towards assisting small business startups in a variety of fields. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
A new television channel from St. Kitts and Nevis will hit the airwaves next month as the government continues its strategy to develop and promote local arts as well as to enhance the film industry. Akila Byron Nisbet, the minister responsible for the Ministry of Entrepreneurship, Entertainment and Talent Development, said the new channel, Moint TV, will open up new opportunities.
The objectives of this channel is to showcase local talent by providing free access to a platform dedicated to airing locally created creative content around the clock. To aid creatives in enhancing their craft by setting content quality standards akin to international TV channels. To provide a revenue stream to creatives by channeling advertising revenue to the creatives for ads that ran during their production time. And I must add that we are working very closely with the cable to ensure that this channel just does not have reach just locally, but it would also have reach regionally and internationally as well. And we thank the cable for continuing their efforts. We've already had communication with some providers on the international scene who are willing and ready to have all of our content from the channel aired internationally, whether directly from the channel or through their own production lines.
The minister added that communication with some international providers has been positive, with a commitment made to air the content from St. Kitts and Nevis when it becomes available. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline. When visiting St. Martin, you want clean, affordable accommodations. You need Midtown Motel in the heart of Phillipsburg, a place where you can relax, take a stroll on Great Bay Beach, and that provides you easy access to great shopping. Midtown Motel, located on Front Street, Phillipsburg, St. Martin. Call Midtown Motel at 721-542-0614 and book your stay today.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips. Nestled between evergreen mountains and the Caribbean Sea on the island of St. Kitts is the Mill House Guest House and Convention Center. With breathtaking views, a rugged, beautiful shoreline, and immaculate manicured gardens make this the perfect location for your holiday, event, or wedding. With a large convention center, apartments with balconies providing stunning views, and a secluded cottage for larger family groups or honeymooning couples looking for some privacy. We have something for everyone. Book your stay at www.millhouseskn.com or visit our Facebook page, the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center, an oasis of tranquility.
Members of the opposition PNP are again highlighting issues relating to the country's current state of affairs. At a PNP conference in Knockpatrick, Manchester on Sunday, members of the opposition expressed their disappointment and frustration about what they describe as troubling issues plaguing the country. The conference targeted areas for improvement in the country to include national security, education, and proper garbage disposal. Meantime, opposition leader Mark Golding says his cries for gas taxes to be removed have been ignored.
We have said don't collect no more tax on the price of oil above that, because that is what you were budgeting for. And we're saying give the economy, give the people a break from the additional taxes. We drafted the order under the Provisional Collection of Tax Act to implement that. And we took it to the Ministry of Finance and gave it to the Financial Secretary to give to the Minister of Finance. But so far, it has fallen on deaf ears.
Opposition spokesperson on transport and housing, Michael Phillips, lashed out against the National Housing Trust and their actions towards the poorer class.
And the majority of those who contribute to the NHT are poor people who are work. But them can't even get a house. The own policy document that was commissioned by the Prime Minister said the NHT need to build 15,000 new houses per year. And the NHT is delivering under 4,000 houses per year.
The opposition's adamant that under the current Jamaica Labour Party administration, the country has seen drastic setbacks. Nasika Aliman, CVM Live.
On Monday, the Demerara Limited launched its no-collateral business loan, the Farmers Credit Line, at its Mahicas branch, which is aimed at assisting rice farmers across the country in better access to funds. The loan amount ranges from 1 million to 1.5 million Guyana dollars, with a 6.5% interest rate annually. No-collateral business loans are loans which does not require any collateral, meaning a person doesn't have to risk their own personal or business assets to secure the loan. No-collateral business loans are referred to as unsecured loans. President Dr. Irfan Ali Jr.'s keynote address at the event divulged that the initiative will boost farmers' productivity and increase the country's capability significantly in the reduction of the region's food import bill by 25% by 2025.
Unless we improve production at every single level and in every single sector, we will not be able to build a strong, resilient, and diversified economy. We have to invest in all the factors that would not only enhance productivity and increase production, but would ensure that we have a reliable and stable environment in which the agricultural sector can grow.
The head of state lauded the Demerara Bank Limited for the Farmers Credit Line initiative, as he believes that the organization has demonstrated its leadership to the maximum. Ali noted that the credit line can provide farmers with the resources to advance their operations and directly supplement the government's vision of catering to the rising production costs globally. Demerara Bank Limited Chief Executive Officer Pravin Chandra Dev disclosed that the company decided to render assistance to farmers cognizant of the myriad of challenges faced in upkeeping their enterprise.
They have a lot of problems. When we analyze the problems of the farmer, there were 5 types of problems. First of all, they don't get credit for the bank, which is evident from this figure. Next thing is the rate of interest which they charge to the farmer is very high. That was the second problem. Third problem was that banks ask for collateral. Sometimes farmers don't have the collateral. And fourth is rate of interest.
Apart from the Mahaica branch, the Farmers Credit Line initiative will soon be rolled out countrywide. They've also noted that as part of the initiative, the Demerara Limited has also relinquished processing fees and commitment fees to pave the way for farmers to easily access loans. Deeming the initiative to be timely and laudable, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa disclosed that this venture opens the gateway of opportunities and expansion of rice farming.
Once farmers have easy access to credit facility, then they are better able to make the necessary investment in their operations. Therefore, this program is welcome.
Between January and March 2022, Ghana's rice industry raked in approximately $37,022,500, which equates to more than 7.7 billion Ghana dollars in export earnings, according to figures provided by the Ministry of Agriculture. This is Antonio Day reporting for the HCP 19 News.
Queen Elizabeth looms large over the British capital, seemingly every street awash with flags and bunting. For weeks, soldiers from the Household Cavalry tasked with guarding the monarch have been rehearsing their steps. The Platinum Jubilee is as much a celebration of British traditions as it is 96-year-old Queen Elizabeth's long reign. But in the 70 years since she became Queen, her coronation a year later, the Queen and country have profoundly changed. Back then, many of Europe's cities were scarred by the horrors of the Second World War, and the British Empire that once ruled a third of the world was melting away. Queen Elizabeth would help shape Britain's new historic purpose, not as the Queen of an empire, but of a commonwealth of multinational, multiracial states. And also as head of a royal family that would, in the coming years, become the focus of intense media attention. As the family grew, so did the challenges. The death of Princess Diana in a car crash in 1997 provoked public anger that the Queen wasn't publicly mourning her death while millions were, forcing her to break protocol and join the crowds. More recently, the royals have faced intense criticism over their handling of racism allegations by the Queen's grandson, Prince Harry, and wife, Meghan. While sexual assault claims against Prince Andrew forced Queen Elizabeth to strip her son, once touted as her favourite child, of his royal titles. Over the decades, presidents and prime ministers have been and gone, some of the most iconic figures of the past century. Queen Elizabeth consistently doing her duty.
I think she's played very well exactly the role of a constitutional monarch. She's the most charismatic, sort of photographed, most famous woman in the world, but she's also very enigmatic. We hardly know her, and I think being able to stay above politics but seen as relevant and respected has been really important.
Here in the twilight of Queen Elizabeth's reign, a gentle reduction of royal duties after the death of her husband of 73 years, Prince Philip, in the midst of the pandemic. A time when Queen Elizabeth's words to the nation have scarcely mattered more.
We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again.
Even as more and more people question the role and the purpose of a royal family in a modern democracy, there is something of a coziness, a familiarity to her long reign, and genuine public affection for a woman and a queen who ties past and present generations together. Neve Barker, Al Jazeera, London.
Floodwaters have begun to recede on the coast of Oaxaca in southern Mexico. Residents, however, are still reeling from the impact of Hurricane Agatha.
I have nothing left, nothing to eat. Now I'm going to see what I can find, but nobody has anything left.
Agatha was a powerful Category 2 hurricane when it made landfall late Monday evening. And authorities say the death toll is likely to rise while the search for those missing continues.
Based on the reports we've received, we've made the decision to provide services to the most affected areas, most importantly the coast of Oaxaca.
The challenges faced by those emergency teams are daunting. Heavy rainfall from Agatha caused widespread flooding and mudslides. State and federal authorities say efforts remain underway to clear roads and provide desperately needed aid to thousands of people affected.
Well, all our water is dirty and we don't have anything to drink. But we're waiting for support. We need at least water, food, or whatever they can give us because we've lost everything here. We don't have anything. The clothes and dishes are wet. Everything was lost.
Though Hurricane Agatha has mostly dissipated over the mountains of southern Mexico, weather forecasters warn the remaining thunderstorms could regroup into a tropical depression or even a tropical storm. If so, Agatha's name would change to Alex, becoming the first named storm of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season, potentially bringing heavy rain and wind to the U.S. state of Florida by the end of the week. Manuel Rapalo, Al Jazeera.
Nickwan Phipps smashed in 5 goals for Saul Island Auto Supply's Connery in their routing of TGE Deer Bay Eagles 9-0 on Wednesday. In midweek SKNFA Premier League action at the Warner Park, Connery had a field day, leading as early as in the 4th minute with a goal from Phipps. He then went on to score the second goal in the 24th minute before the red-hot striker Kadeem Lewis netted the first goal of his hat-trick in the 32nd minute. Phipps scored in the 4th, 24th, 75th, 84th and 86th minutes, while Lewis netted his hat-trick in the 32nd, 40th and 48th minutes. Kenroy Hodge added to Connery's tally in the 77th minute. In the night's other match, Keon blanked Escrave Newtown United 4-0. Javern Matthew got the scoring off to a start in the 8th minute before Carlos Bertie scoring a brace in the 13th minute and the 26th minute, the latter being from the penalty spot. Quiniki Clark scored the 4th goal in the 83rd minute. So with those two results, we see the SKNFA Premier League table is as following. St. Paul's United at the top of the table with 47 points from 18 matches. Keon Rockets with 35 points from 17 matches. Village Superstars in 3rd place with 2 games in hand with 34 points. Garden Hotspurs after 16 games have 33 points. St. Peter's FC after 16 games have 31 points. Connery FC with that huge win against Deer Bay continue to maintain their 6th position with 27 points after 18 matches. Old Road Jets after 16 matches have 22 points. Saddlers FC have 21 points after 17 matches. Newtown United would have played 18 matches. They're in 9th place with 15 points. Bath United has 13 points and seems all but assured for staying up in the Premier League after 17 matches. The two bottom teams, Deer Bay Eagles, with that defeat to Connery, they are still in 11th place with 17 points and a minus 58 goal difference. Trafalgar South Stars are rooted at the bottom of the table with 4 points and a minus 40 goal difference after 17 matches. The SKNFA wishes to advise that the Premier League fixtures have been postponed until after June 12th to facilitate the CONCACAF Nations League, which will be playing this weekend.
There seems to be some confusion as to who should be blamed for the rejection of Jamaica's World Under-20 Girls 4x100 meter relay record, as the Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission is contending that they followed due diligence. More in this report.
On Wednesday, a photo of what appeared to be an official document from World Athletics started making the rounds. A section of the document highlighted that the record of 42.58 seconds done at the Carifta Championships in April by the Jamaican quartet of Serena Cole, Tina Clayton, Brianna Liston and Tia Clayton has not been ratified by World Athletics. The reason given is that all team members were not subjected to doping control. When contacted on Wednesday, Chairman of the Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission, Alexander Williams, confirmed the report and explained how this came to be.
You don't necessarily test any one athlete too frequently, putting it that way. You test one in competition the day before, you don't necessarily test them in competition the day after. Which is what happened. A number of athletes were tested according to what we were asked to do by J3As and also in accordance with water protocols. Now, it did turn out that one particular athlete, I think it's the athlete in question, had been tested on the 16th but not on the 17th. And that was purely because of the JADCO's best practice.
Williams also explained that JADCO did nothing wrong.
I suppose World Athletics is saying we won't recognize unless you absolutely test the particular athlete in the particular competition. suppose that's what they say. So World Athletic can say one thing and WADA can say another. We comply with what WADA says.
However, sports medicine specialist and former doping control officer Dr. Paul Wright has differing views from those shared by Williams.
For the record to be ratified, all the athletes have to be tested on the day the record was run. That is the protocol that I knew when I was there. I don't know if it has been changed subsequently. I can tell you what was there when I was there. You have to drug test the 4 people who run the record on the day the record was run.
According to Rule 31.3.4 of the World Athletics Competition Rules, athletes must submit to doping control immediately after the end of the event where the athlete has broken or equaled a world record. It also stated that the doping control documentation will be reviewed by the Athletics Integrity Unit and the performance will not be ratified if a doping control is not conducted. Renardo Brown for TVJ Sports.
Welcome to the SKN Newsline Weather Report. I am Janil Boone. Here is a look at the forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. For a more detailed weather report, visit our website at www.sknnewsline.com.